Welcome to East by West Farms. Here we grow what we eat and eat what we grow. Today I'm going to plant some taro roots. For those of you who don't know, taro roots is kind of similar to elephant ear. You probably recognize the name taro when you order bubble teas. Usually there's a taro flavor of bubble tea. I just bought this from the grocery store last weekend, and you can see that it start to sprouting already. Quite a few reasons that I want to plant taro roots. First of all, it's a very robust plant that pretty much doesn't need to be any care, essentially. And it's also like clay soil, so it can grow in when it's very soaking wet or it's bone dry. Another reason is that this, just like elephant ear, it has huge leaves. Even in summer when it's bone dry, we still get quite some out of morning dew in the morning. These big leaves are really good to collect the morning dew and then use it for other plants. This is a pecan tree that the previous owner has planted before we bought the property. Last year during summer it was completely dry, it was just a stick. And we're glad to see that it came back this year. But definitely it's probably need more watering and more care to keep it going. So what I'm going to do is choose this spot, which is on the east side of this tree. One thing about the taro roots that it's a shade-loving plant. It doesn't like a lot of sun. In summer, it will die back, and then it will sprout again in fall, so it has 2 seasons. It also is perennial, so the first year you will not get taro roots. You just, after it die back, you just leave it in the ground, and then let it come back the next year. And then it will produce more taro roots the second year. But the first year, you can actually eat the stalk. So the stem or the stalk, basically you have these big leaves that is supported by this stem. And I can actually harvest that stem and use it for cooking. So it's a very versatile plant that you can eat the roots starting the second year. You can also eat the stem. Of course, you need to know how to cook it and how to treat the stem. Otherwise, it gives you a very bad tinkling when you handle it, and also make your tongue tinkling as well. These are small taro roots. That's what taro roots look like. There are actually 2 types of taro roots. This is the small taro roots. That's kind of about the size of a small potato. I bought this from the grocery store last weekend. And of course, I picked the one that already is sprouting. So you can see the green tip over here. That's where the leaves will come out, and it's huge leaves. Another type of taro roots that you can plant is this giant taro root I have at hand. This is actually just the top portion of it. You can see that this is cut off. In the store, you could have taros like the full taros like this big. This is actually a lot of flesh that I can eat. So it would be a waste if I take this and bury it under the ground. What I did is basically cut the top off, and then I can still eat this part. And for that part, I can either soak it in water or bury it in soil and put in a warm place like a greenhouse or the car, and it will grow a leaf, and then it will shoot baby taro roots from the side. This is the one that I start to grow from the top of this big taro roots. We ate the bottom and just cut maybe the top 1 inch and buried in the soil. It's been in the greenhouse for a few weeks, so now it starts to come out. The cold weather here is gone, so it's going to warm up enough that I can plant this in the ground as well. To plant the Taro roots, all you need is dig a hole and pop it in there with the tip point up. It doesn't need to be very deep. And then I just cover it with soil. Then it will set root and grow. We're going to have some rain come up tomorrow, so I don't even need to water it. The same thing for the big taro roots. So I just get it in there and cover the back up. Make sure I put my label so I know that it's a big taro roots, not a small. I'm sure I can see from the leaves, but this is the first time I planting these big taro roots. So, so I would assume this one will have huge, even bigger leaves than the smaller ones. This is actually a clump of taro roots. This was the mother taro root that you plant the first year, and then the second year you start to get these offsprings. Each one of them can be planted. So in this case, I just essentially break this off, and that gave me 3 plants. So then each one of them will propagate. You don't even need to dig it up in fall. Over here we don't have a deep freeze, so they are okay in the ground. You can just leave them in the ground, and then in winter, whenever you need taro roots, you just dig them up and cook it. This one looks like a Mickey Mouse. This is how I plant taro roots. It's really an easy plant to plant. It's pretty much carefree. You can use it to collect water in the heat of summer from the dew, and use the water for other plants. It's a good food storage because you can leave the roots underground, and it will and dig it up whenever you need it. I hope you enjoyed this content. If you did, please hit the thumb up button. If you have any questions or comments, please leave it down below. If you have not done so, please hit the subscribe button to follow our journey with the East by West farm.